just to place on record our concern that this administration has developed a reputation, a record for probably the only administration to have rejected an application for a group of workers to be part of a trade union, to belong to a bargaining unit. But the aspect of denying the trade union application is an attack, a frontal attack that must be seen as a hostile move on organized labor. Saying that in 2024, there was a high record of successful trade union application for workplaces. Cannot say the same for 2025. In a particular instance where, for the first time in my living memory, we have had an application to represent workers, which is a right, rejected by the Ministry of Labor. And that is the workers at the Grenada Airports Authority, a matter that was in the news, and I'm placing it there because it can have implications, or will have implications, going forward. I know the report was for 2024, but because I'm dealing with 2025, just to place on record our concern that this administration has developed a reputation, a record for probably the only administration to have rejected an application for a group of workers to be part of a trade union, to belong to a bargaining unit. So I'm making a distinction because individuals can join a trade union if a trade union wants. But the purpose of joining a trade union as guaranteed under the Grenada Constitution and under our labor laws is so that they can look after the collective interests. So it is not just enough to say that a worker or a person can join a trade union, but the purpose of a trade union is for collective representation to pursue their interests. So I'm making that appeal. Hopefully, good sense will prevail because we take extremely seriously the aspect that our founding fathers have fought for. Because before 1979, because the Constitution goes back to 1973-74, before 1979, an employer was not bound to recognize a trade union. So yes, workers could have joined, because they didn't require a poll per se. They could have joined. But the aspect of representation, it is a fundamental human right for workers to join and belong to a trade union for the purpose of representation, and not just for membership. There is a distinction between membership and representation. And for the first time in my living memory, and for all who I've spoken to, and I'm not claiming that I've been able to speak to everyone, certainly in my living memory, and especially an administration that continues to speak about what it has done for workers and continue to do for workers. The fundamental aspect, because you see, it is one thing that you can do things for individual workers, but when it comes to what you call the collective, and it is organized labor that represents the workforce. And if you deny workers from being able to enjoy the benefit of belonging to a trade union of their choice for workplace representation, you are doing a grave injustice, and a grave injustice that will not be accepted by the union, in this case, the Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union, whose General Council is meeting on the 20th of this month, in which a resolution will be brought to the membership of all the workplaces that we represent to ensure that these injustice and these violations are not allowed. I'm putting this here because we crave for good industrial relations. It is okay, as the minister reported, the level of resolutions of disputes must mean that the both parties, meaning the unions and the companies, have been able to come to agreement. So it is okay to compromise on salaries. It is okay to compromise, even on dismissals. Many times you compromise and you say, look, boy, it doesn't make a sense continuing that relationship, right? So let's part our ways. Yes, let's part our ways and let's pay so that we don't continue in terms of termination allowance, or you give something more. But the aspect of denying the trade union application is an attack, a frontal attack that must be seen as a hostile move on organized labor. So through you and through this medium, I'm making this request. There is time to reverse this matter. We cannot, in 2025, with all the engagements we have made at the level of the International Labour Organization, with all the advances that we have made in the Ministry of Labour, of all the advancement that we have made relative to honoring a number of benefits for workers, but denying a group of workers. Because what that means, and we have read this to mean that there's a deliberate decision to ensure that a group of workers cannot be unionized so that other employers will follow suit. Because see, once you grant it, and we have been successful with these categories of workers, even when employers have rejected, the ministry have correctly told, let me repeat, the ministry have correctly told employers who have rejected for a certain group of workers to be unionized by saying, well, no, this is their constitutional right. And the labor code, and Grenada in particular, will not take away that right. But the state, the government is doing that because it's a state-owned enterprise. Grenada Airports Authority is belonging to us. And the Ministry of Labour is part of this state machinery. And therefore, we have to make an assessment. And we know who are the players in this environment. We know who are the players in this environment. And we will not allow any precedent to be set by the private sector. And it is our view that that may be part of the considerations, broadly speaking, for the state to do this. So, Madam President, I rest my case on this.
Hi everyone, thanks for checking out the Bub Report's social media pages. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch our weekly live show, follow our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram pages, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can catch repeat episodes on Wednesdays at 4 and 5 p.m. respectively on CRFM Radio and GBN TV in Grenada. We are also viewed on Sundays at 8 p.m. on WPG 10 throughout the Caribbean. Thanks for watching.